This is what happens when the fourth turning meets fifth generation warfare.
A commentator, international social media sensation, and former Navy intelligence veteran.
This is Human Events with your host, Jack Posobiec.
Christ is king.
A second U.S. aircraft carrier is being sent to the Middle East. And here is what we're learning from the Associated Press. They're reporting that the United States will send the world's largest aircraft carrier to the Middle East to back up another already there, putting more American firepower behind President Trump's efforts to coerce Iran into a deal over its nuclear program.
The United States is expanding its military presence in Nigeria. Donald Trump is now sending 200 American soldiers to Africa's most populous nation. Officially, it's a training mission. A U.S. official confirmed on Tuesday that roughly 200 troops will be deployed to train Nigerian forces battling terrorist groups.
We're going to litigate. We've got an attorney general that's, well-versed in litigation.
That was the response from Governor Gavin Newsom when ABC 10 asked him what the state plans on doing about the Trump administration's plan to cut public health grants from the state. This comes just weeks after the Trump administration stopped funding for child care subsidies and other social service programs from California. That's since been caught up in the courts. A spokesperson for the Office of Management and Budget says it would be $328 million because of a history of fraud and mismanagement.
We've had great success with this operation, and we're leaving Minnesota safer.
This legislative session needs to be about recovery of the damage done to us. I am also asking our team, I'm going to make appeals to our federal delegation. The federal government needs to pay for what they broke here. There are going to be accountability on the things that happened, but one of the things is the incredible and immense costs that were borne by the people of this state. The federal government needs to be responsible. You don't get to break things and just leave without doing something about it. So we're going to be asking the federal delegation to be investing and doing the things necessary.
ICE officials were here, and so were contractors, trying to get an idea of what it would take to convert this massive warehouse into a detention center.
You just saw a woman try to set this building on fire.
Yeah, we did, Chris. She just left a few minutes ago, but if we take a look, you can see there's some windows there along the south part of the building, and there might be some scorch marks you might be able to see.
Any money we are spending and sending weapons to NATO, and because of the increase from 2% to 5% of GDP that the NATO countries are paying, they pay us full for the weapons, and then they distribute the weapons to mostly, I guess, Ukraine, but that's up to them. They buy them. And we do make the greatest weapons of any country in the world, by far, most effective weapons. So my message to all of the warriors here today is that your commander-in-chief supports you totally. I support you more than, I know you've had a couple of good ones, not that many if you want to know the truth, but we support you more than any of them. And you're going to get out, and when needed, you're going to fight, fight, fight. You're going to win, win, win. And we're going to continue to make our country bigger and better and stronger than ever before. And that's exactly where we are right now. We are the most respected country anywhere in the world. And I say it, the King of Saudi Arabia told me when I was there, he spent $2 trillion. We have $18 trillion being invested right now in our country from other companies and countries all over the world. The most any country's ever had is $3 trillion. That was a long time ago. And it didn't happen to be us. It was another country. It starts with a C. Can you imagine what I'm talking about? China. But we have $18 trillion being invested. As an example, in the Biden 4 years, they had less than $1 trillion. Think of this, less than $1 trillion over 4 years. We have $18 trillion in 11 months because we haven't gotten the final numbers on the 12th month, so that's only going to go up. There's never been anything like it. But the King of Saudi Arabia looked at me and says, you know, a year and a half ago, I thought the United States of America was finished. I thought it was dead. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. We have the hottest country anywhere in the world, and you're a very, very big part of it. Thank you to the Army. Thank you to everybody here. Thank you also to our great politicians. They're great leaders, and they love you as much as I do. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition Human Events Daily. Guys, throw the president back up on the side there. And today is February 13th, 2026, Anno Domini. President Trump there with the First Lady Melania Trump herself, of course, coming off of her massive success of a documentary that's just come out, the movie Melania. You can go see that in theaters. It's also going to be up on Amazon. He's down there speaking at Fort Bragg, speaking to the military. Folks, you understand, Fort Bragg is the head of JSOC, the head of our Tier One operators. That is where their higher headquarters is. So some of the country's most serious missions, the top missions, Fort Bragg is where they're run out of. The missions that, quite frankly, don't even make the headlines. You know, they say the goal of a clandestine operation, a true successful clandestine operation, is that nobody even realizes that an operation ever took place. So that's the difference between covert and clandestine. Covert is, of course, an operation that is kept secret and then eventually revealed. Clandestine is one, again, where you don't want anyone to think that an operation even occurred. That's what JSOC does. Tier One, best of the best, Fort Bragg. Of course, you got Delta Force CAG there, right there. So you see a lot in the audience. And there's President Trump greeting some of the best and finest men that this country has to offer. Right back, Human Events Daily.